Hi guys, Dean Oakford here. Today, once again, I'm going to casually take you through some common mistakes people make before they invest. Now, I've just moved house, I've got my new studio, well, I say studio, it's more like a TV room set up that I'm working out of from now, but we'll try and do some fun things along the way. I want to keep this club as fun as possible. You know, I don't want it to be another one of them clubs where you've got someone sitting there in a suit and a tie trying to tell you what to buy just because he wants to earn a bit of commission. No, this is going to be a bit different, and you're going to see that in regular videos. You're going to see me sitting here in a polo shirt or a t-shirt. You know, I'm even wearing shorts today. So, you know, I want to make this casual. I want to make it fun. I want to get you guys involved, and the aim of this whole club is that everyone can help each other be successful in investing in real estate without being a guru, without me trying to sell you something. And there are too many people out there today that I've noticed, especially during this COVID lockdown period, that are trying to sell you just all the time online. So I'm going to tell you the checklist that I go through before I make a big spend and investment, and hopefully this can help you. And if you're not already subscribed yet, please subscribe on the YouTube channel or become a member on our website. It's completely free, and when you do want to invest money, you can get my expertise, or you can get help from all the other people on the site and help each other. Now, I'm going to go through this now. I'm using a new program here, so forgive me if it goes wrong. So, the common mistakes people make. First of all, let me get myself back on camera first of all. There you go. So, first of all, you've got things like lack of due diligence. Now, this is so common that I've seen in my life, and I've broken it down into 5 sections here. Yeah. First of all, company. You've got to check the company. Go on to things like Google and type in the name of the company. When you get your contracts through, see what is the proper name of the company. Is it this private limited? Is it this SGMBHD? You know, is this one limited? Check the name of the company, because often when you're doing business with someone over a website, or you're meeting them for the first time and they give you a brand name, for instance, Shepherd Cox, for instance, that's a brand name. Their actual contract name and company name might be different to that. So Google the names of the companies on the contract, followed by the word scam. I do this all the time. And then Google bad investment next to their name, or forum, and go through at least 5 or 6 pages of Google, because sometimes these companies will spend money to put bad forums or bad press or bad in testimonials back through Google, and it appears on one of the later pages. So check the company name, and if you need any help to do that, come to us and we'll even do it for you. That's the first one. Second one, comparables. You know, sometimes you have to check the market for comparables. If you're buying a property in London, for instance, you've got to make sure that you're getting a good deal for that value. So I like to use a site in the UK called Zoopla, where it shows you exactly on that particular street that you're buying what the average house price is and when the last sale was. So you can sort of compare roughly what they are. Although you can't see the inside, that might change how the property's worth, but you can get a rough feel to seeing if you're ripped off or not. And we're talking about real property here, yeah. You know, primary property off plan or secondary property, not your investment alternative sales like your hotel rooms and all that other garbage. This is for real property, and comparables are very easy to find. For instance, not many people know that a 1-bedroom apartment in London might cost you £400,000, whereas just 2 hours down the road in England's second biggest city, in Birmingham, will only cost you about £70,000. So comparable in terms of location as well is important, very important to do. The next one is, of course, valuation. We've got to make sure you're paying what the value is. There's so many investments that I've seen before being sold, and they come without a valuation. Now, proper property in the UK, if you want a proper valuation, it's done by a company called RICS. You want a RICS certified valuer. Anything else, and you're not really covered by any form of insurance. Where, you know, If you're overseas, you've got to make sure what is your valuation standard. Is there a standard valuation accreditation you can get? If so, use them, even if it does cost more, because it will save you in the long run if you're going to pay overpriced for a property, which you don't want to do. If you're buying a part of something bigger, let's say you're buying like a room in a bigger building. This could be like God forbid, a student accommodation or a hotel room investment or a piece of land, part of a bigger parcel. Then you want to know that your piece that you're buying is of value compared to the whole site. So you've got to value the whole building and then break it down into square foot. Again, can be difficult to do that one, but still possible to do, especially if it's commercial property. It can be quite difficult. But again, get in touch with us and we can help you. Next one, the company owners, yeah? The company owners, my God. Company owners, you have to keep checking company owners. Go on LinkedIn, type their name into Google, type their name into Facebook, Instagram, use all the social medias. The website and the internet is your tool. Please use it. And the more you check on these people, the more you begin to find out who they are, how many assets they have. If you're buying in the UK or the people are from the UK, you can do company directors check and you can check out how many other companies they own, if they've gone bankrupt, if they owe any money, what their credit is like in terms of companies. And in most first world countries, you'll find the same thing. If you are investing into jurisdictions or countries that don't have these kind of checks, these companies like, Philippines, some other countries such as this, then it might be a bit more difficult to trace the people. But online, it's difficult to run around now and set up companies and take investment for things without leaving a trace online. So do you check on the company owners and make sure they're legit and make sure they say they are who they say they are before you move forward. Number 5, use a partner service. So one of the services we offer, as well as many other companies around the world, is that we'll do all this for you. So, it's like, why would you do all these yourself, which you obviously can do, if you're going to use us and it's a free service to do? And most other companies charge for this, by the way, but we offer it for free. And as part of being the group, anyone else can do this as well. So with us, what we do is we allow you to come to us and we'll do all these checks for you online to make sure that we give like a star rating out of 5 normally to whether you should move forward with this company or not. And then we can post it on our forum on our website as well. So if any other company or person has used this company to invest before, they can leave their experiences there as well. And likelihood is the more and more people we get to join the club, the more and more companies we have that people have chosen to invest into and given their feedback. So hopefully the dream is in a couple of years' time to have every single investment company listed on our website and have feedback from them both, so you can make an informed decision before moving forward. These are partnered services, these are group club services, and make sure you make the most of them before you move forward to invest. Next one, no long-term strategy. Now this is one where greed can get in. I ask 3 questions to anyone before they invest, just to make sure that they've got a long-term plan, not just throwing money just because they want to make more money. That's not good enough. If you want to reach anywhere in life, you have to have a goal. So question 1, find out why are you investing? Why is it you're putting money into this, your hard-earned cash into this? For a lot of people, it's retirement. For some other people, it's children's education. You've got to find out why you're actually investing so you can help reach that goal. And when you do reach that goal, you know not to invest any more of your money and not keep taking risks, because investing is a risk. You are taking a risk every time. So if you keep continuing to take a risk even after you've reached your goal, then you're just wasting your money and throwing your money down the drain. Question 2, can you cover all the costs? So many people that I see, they invest before they can actually really afford to start. And a lot of these people, unfortunately, are normally younger people or people that haven't even got their first house yet. These people should not be investing. You should not be investing if you don't own a property already that you're living in, or if you're under the age of, say, 24 or 25, or you're still going to school. You should not be investing in property at that stage unless you can afford a mortgage. Now, people that are spending, again, more than 50% of their available savings at the moment that they have in the bank also is silly. You need money for a rainy day, and if you lose that money, you're the one that's going to be coming back and it being affected more by it. If you're only losing by a bad investment, 2 or 3% of your combined wealth, then it's not really going to affect you as much as it is done if you've lost 50%. So only invest if you can really afford to cover all costs. Now, some investments, of course, will cost you more down the line as well. It's not just the initial investment. So you've got to work out what the hidden charges are, what the other costs that are going to be associated with that property further down the line. So make sure you cover that as well. Question 3 is, who is helping you set an achievable property investment strategy? So again, go to the experts on this. People like us, we've been doing this for a long time, and we can use first party experiences with how to get people to reach their goals. There's many people that we've helped reach their retirement goal already, so we know the recipe to get there. So if you can, especially if it's free, definitely if it's free, use third-party services to help you set that goal, and they'll make sure it's achievable for you, not out of your reach. We're not going to be saying we're going to make you 20% a year, because that's just ridiculous, but we'll help you get a steady goal to achieve your targets. Now, next one, letting emotion take over. This I don't see a lot in the Western world, but certainly during my time in Asia, and I'm sure my Asian friends here today will agree, they've seen rooms like this before. And rooms like this is common when people sell property over there. People queue up to buy, and it's purely down to there's more disposable income, and buying a property is less of a big decision to someone with more money, of course. So you get these seminar sort of based sales rooms, and I'm going to launch a whole video on how these work, how the manipulation techniques of these rooms and how they actually work, which would be quite interesting for anyone that wants to know. But things are sold basically for 2 reasons. One, the things are sold on fear. So if you think of products like insurance, they sell to you life insurance or insurance to protect your iPhone or your laptop on the fear that it's going to break and it's going to cost you money in further down the line. That's the best and most primal instinct to sell on, and that's when we're most vulnerable to say yes to buying. The other one is greed, and both of these emotions stir up our feelings and take out logic from our brain for a very short second, enough for us to be controlled by emotion and enough to be manipulated. Now, don't let someone that's asking you to put your hands in the air to if you're feeling good today at a seminar. Don't buy from people that are selling you using these methods. Don't buy once you've been to one seminar and just heard a guy on stage speak for 1 hour. Don't buy from that. Go back, research, do all these things I'm telling you to do, and then come back to them with questions. That's all I've got to say about that, really. Next one, poor financial management. When you're buying property, again, if you're not going to experts, I've seen a lot of people get really, really had bad deals from this. First of all, bad mortgage terms. I've seen properties in the Philippines being given mortgage terms of 8 to 9% APR on a 20-year mortgage, which means basically you're paying back so much money compared to what you should be. So bad mortgage terms, you've got to make sure that you're getting the best mortgage terms. How do you do that? You've got to compare the rates in which you can get. Don't just go to the first bank you can choose. You can run out of cash flow. As I said before, this links into the previous one where if you buy a property, it's got to be maintained to make sure you get the maximum rent. It's got to be making sure you're paying all the communal fees if there are any ones, especially if you're buying apartments in more of the Asian world countries. And there comes with a lot of community fees and agent fees, etc. And tax, of course. You've got to make sure everything you keep enough back for tax. The next one is not enough cash to begin investing. Again, we've gone through this. And there is a ratio in which you should not have most of your property on credit, of course. There should be a certain amount on credit and a certain amount not. Again, we can go through this, and we go through this all of our clients, but you've got to make sure that you're not more than 50% reliant on credit, on mortgage. Some of your properties and your investments should be cash, just in case a rainy day comes by or you lose your job and you need to take out the cash from that investment, then you will be able to do so. Greed is the biggest one. Greed's the biggest one that doesn't affect people that are just starting. This affects more people that are in the 50s and 60s and maybe got 10, 15 properties. I've seen people like this go bust. Let me say it again. I have seen people with 15, 20 properties in their 50s and 60s have to take a second job as a taxi driver in Singapore just to be able to afford to put food on the table. That's how fast things can swing if greed takes over. Now, let me explain how this works. Now, if you're not greedy, investing $100,000, pounds, over 20 years, just at 6%, which is very achievable with taking very little risk, makes you 320. If you've got longer than 20 years to invest, that figure just goes up and up and up. So that's an example of a good strategy goal. And now you need to find investments that reach that goal. Now, if you're looking at investments that only need to give you 6%, your risk is far lower. You can credit some of these against a mortgage and you can do some of them cash buy. So if you ever need the cash in the future, you can sell some of the properties and take them back. The mortgage ones, you want to keep them there, but this is why it's important to split your portfolio. Don't let greed take over, guys, because if you start wanting to make 15%, 10%, 20%, even Warren Buffett struggles to make 20% a year, and he's been investing for 65 years. You've got to think, especially if you're new to the game of property, especially if you've not got any partners to help you, especially if you're not part of a club where you can help each other. 6%, although it seemed low, might seem low to most people, this is still above what most people are earning in the world. So take note of the greed factor. Next one is think you'll be saving money by self-managing a property. I see this all the time, and this tends to be for people when they buy their first property. It's a very emotional buy. It's your first property. You want to make sure that the tenant you get there is not breaking things and etc. And you want to make sure you're maximizing the amount of money that you're getting out from it. Now, I understand that, but there's a reason why people use management companies and the reasons why they exist. It's because the hassle it will take you to manage a property in the end, and the amount of time it takes you, bear in mind, time is money as well for you, it ends up costing you more money to manage a property yourself than doing it yourself. You're better off making money while you sleep and letting someone handle it for you, obviously for a fee, but as long as you're profitable by that 6% figure, then that's what you should be aiming for. Don't try and greed and luck this out just to make an extra couple of percent managing the property for you, because the tenants won't respect you for it. They won't want to really see you. They much prefer that these days to deal with a company, because you've got too emotion to their property. You've got too much more emotion than they do. Tenants normally move out after 18 months anyway. So you're better off getting someone to manage it for you. I've known people in the past to get calls at 3 a.m. just because their boiler's broke, and then you're the one they call just because you can't put a management company in place and you want to save a few quid. Don't do that. Get a property management company. They can charge as low as 6% if you go to decent ones. If you want void assurance and things like this, they might charge you double that, but 10 and 12%. But it's worth it in the long run, just so you can sleep at night and not worry about the property at all. The next one is location. Of course, this is important when buying. You've got to do research, guys, on not only the country you're investing into, not only the city, not only the exact suburb, but even down to the exact road. There was an investment property that I saw someone buy before where he invested in a great location. It was the centre of KL about 15, 16 years ago. It was a great city. It was KL. It was the capital city. It was a great suburb. It was KL in the Golden Triangle. But what he didn't know is right next door was a graveyard on the road. So he didn't make money on that until about 7 years, but he was expecting to make money and flip it after 2. So you've got to do research on all 4 of these things in one go. You've got to do research on the economy, things like COVID, global pandemics, who's going to be the first country out. Property in the UK now is having a massive boom, its biggest boom in 6 months, which I can't quite believe. I think it's a lot of pent-up demand that might change after Brexit. Things like Brexit coming up, things like the presidential elections in America, that might change that. Things like in China, for instance, a lot of change going on there. But you've got to do your research on every single level of location, not just the country, even down to the road. Not reading the paperwork. this is something which I know no one does, right? Who reads the paperwork? No, I know. So, I can understand why people don't do this. You might read the first couple of pages, I get it. But at least go to a company that'll do it for you. Again, we do this for free. And chances are, if you're investing in a company, we've already seen their paperwork and we can give you an instant response to what the hidden charges are, if there are any. 9 out of 10 times you buy a property, you're fine with this. And this tends to only affect the alternative investments, to be fair. But any hidden charges, maintenance fees, what are your responsibilities as an owner and what are the responsibilities of the people selling it to you? A lot of the time, especially with the alternative investments, they'll shove all these over to you once it comes time to pay you out. You want to know what are the developer failure terms if you're buying something off plan. So if you're buying something that is not going to be ready for another couple of years, you want to know, well, if they run out of money, what happens to my money? If they take longer than 1 extra year to build, if there's a delay, what happens to my money? What are their failure terms? Very important clause that no one ever reads until it's too late, until the time the developer's already failed. And what is the legislation country to contract? Often, if you're sold property, again, often in the alternative investment world, if you're sold property in the UK, Singapore, Malaysia, and then the registration company, I've seen one time, be Malta or Dubai or Jersey, you have to be prepared to take that company to court in that jurisdiction, in that country, which could mean higher legal fees, which could mean you flying there. Make sure you know what you're getting into before you actually do, is my point. And lastly, not getting advice from professionals in an unbiased company. Now, by getting advice, of course, from people can be worse if the company has a vested interest in you investing. So if a company's making money by giving you advice, then that advice is going to be biased every single time. So this is why I set up the club, because we don't sell your property. We don't sell your property. The only way we make money is by more people joining the club. And then if you want to purchase property in the future, we will give you a couple of recommendations of companies to go to. But we don't sell property. So we could be truly unbiased. Now, how many companies can you say that about? Look at all these gurus in the world these days, these property clubs you can join. I've seen it myself where hundreds of properties have been sold on a single day by a property guru just because they say, oh, this is a good investment, invest into this. People queuing up to buy, and they're earning a 10% commission. Now, even if some companies are even transparent about the commission they're making from the properties that they're recommending, but for me, I'd always be worried about, is that the right thing to do? So you've got to make sure you're getting advice, but unbiased. And as a community, as a whole, this club can do that with each other for free. Make sure you're educating yourself. Again, we're launching many more education platforms and shows like this, where we're going to get people on the show. We're going to get these developers on video and asking them tough questions. If a developer has failed, we're going to go to them and we're going to put the camera in their face and a microphone and say, what's happening with this investment? Why aren't you paying the investors out? Things like this. If you've lost money, we even offer a service where we can analyze your contract. We have a team of professionals that for years have been taking down scam companies and companies that have failed and frauds and things like this, and have been successful many times in getting people's money back. And of course, when you join the club, our club, we even give you discounts with some of the proper companies that have been around for 50 years plus, some of them. If you do want to buy to we've also negotiated a discount for you with them as well. So there is really no reason to not join the club. So that's all we have for today. I just want to reiterate once again with you guys that to join the club, I'll leave the link in the description, and also if you're on the website now, then just go to www.realpropertyclub.com, go to subscribe. It's completely free. You'll get emailed every time a video like this comes out, or just subscribe to the YouTube channel. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you on the next video.